Hello, everybody. We're starting a new picture today, and it's a very green one. So the first thing to say is, don't think you've got to paint it green. There are other ways of achieving darks, which will make a more interesting picture. One should try to make note of that. The other thing is there's a tiny little pink flower. I don't know what it is. And that touch of red will make all the difference to the greens when we finally put it in, which will probably be next week. The second thing to remember is that you're working from dark to light. So I suggest you leave that very spiky ball until near the end, so that the strokes you're putting in will really tell against the darker background. Now, if we look at it, we've got 1, 2, 3 very much in the foreground. This one and a touch one there behind, sort of in the foreground. And there's one up there, and there's one over here. All the rest are pushed back, either strongly back down here, or just a little bit back and rather blurred over here. So I'm going to start with the distance first, because that's the darkest. All I've done is to draw the outline circle for the ball and just the leaf shapes, not the jaggy edges, on my paper, which is Canson Moonstone, just so that I've got them in the right place. It's pretty pointless putting all these jaggy edges in at this stage, because you'll only cover them up. And I'm treating this as sort of semi-botanical, so as if I'm working from the real plant. Right, so let's look and see what we can do about the darks that are going to show. This is a purple. Got lost already. Great life. Right. There. Establishing where the darks are, basically. So that you have something to work on. And this one has got a dark area there. Dark there. This is very dark over here. And into that, I'm going to put some blue just to add to the fun. It makes it a little bit darker. It is showing, yes. So if I want to intensify it, I can do that by adding a little bit of blue to the mix. Not all over, just where it really is very dark. And also the principle, if you put a color on one place, try and put it on somewhere else. It always helps to spread the color around. Right, now these are quite soft because they don't show very strongly, these leaves here. and the leaf here. And because the tone of this green that I'm putting on is quite close to the purple and blue that's already there, it's not going to show up very dramatically and dominate the picture, which is what we don't want to happen. I think we can take this all the way up to here. I'm not putting in leaves as such at the moment, just trying to suggest where the colours and tones are, so as to bring out the major lights and darks, so the thing can start to live. This one here, I might change that because he's much nearer the foreground. We'll see. We'll see. Right. Now that was a bluey green, believe it or not. I do have a duller green here, which I'm going to add in places. Again, if it varies the colour and the tone a little bit, that's always helpful. And this one is a little bit darker up here, but it's a warm dark. So this green that I'm putting on here is a warmish green. Warm in the sense that it's tending more towards the yellow than the blue. This here. On this area here. So this is again just putting in colour where the colour is, not trying to focus the shape at all. Now behind that one is this one. I'll have to do a blend on that. So what happens if I do that on top? Oh, that's rather nice. That's sending that one back. It's implying that it's quite light in itself. Which isn't bad. It's quite good. Sort of egg shape here. Right. Reaching across here, like a vague shape. And you notice this is a brown, it's warm brown, which will help the greens to be more active. And there's something up here too. I'm not quite sure what's up there. I'll just put it up there. That's working quite nicely. If I work some of that brown into the dark, it becomes a little less singly placed. When I get this far, I look at it and despair. Don't despair, carry on. That's the, don't throw it away until you finish it. Then you can say, oh, well, that was rubbish, and put it in the bin, but not until you finished it. Right. Now then, let's see if I can start to produce some interest in this leaf here, which is I don't know if that's showing. If I want to get this leaf to have shape, I have to produce something behind it to act as a contrast. And to show a real dark where I can put it in. If you start lightly, you don't fill the paper with the tooth of the paper. And then it just makes it easier all round. Just to add as and when you need to do it. As you can see, I started off by dotting my efforts all over the place, just as A, to cover the paper, and B, to just spread the colour around so that I have some idea, excuse me, of how the picture is going to develop. I think that's too bright now. I think I'm going to take that back again. So, take that down a bit. Go. Get the brush. This is when you need a covering on the floor if you're working up front. What I've done there is to take out colour that's behind. Right, try again. As ever, you never have the right colour in pastels. It's always the one in between that you're looking for. It's a bit like trying to find paint when you're outside in Keswick. Some sort of feel to it. Anything more bluey? What have I got? Very blue. That dark enough. Ah, it's pretty vibrant, that is. And I can kill it, can't I? going for that. There's something darker. Right. I think that yellow is more ochre. Try that one. I think that is too. Try again. Green there, that's quite dark. Well, I'm working in purple on top of the green. And of course I can go back and work with green on top of the purple, because actually achieving the dark shape I want there is going to be problematic. Right. That's got to go back to being a bit green. There's a lovely shape to the bottom of this leaf. I don't want to be right-handed. Not very often. Now it's beginning to come now. Good. Good. Now this leaf here, I haven't finished on that one. There's still some pieces I need to attend to there. This one, quite interesting, isn't it? It's a strange colour. If you actually separate it out and look at it, it's a sort of grey-green. Have I got a grey-green? No. So, then I have to manufacture. I think I'll push this back a bit more here. And we take that there. And a bit more time and effort on thinking about the different gradations and little lines that are there. What's this one? And somebody invents a new custom. Oh, that's better. I have found a grey-green. It's more grey than green, but it's giving an approximation of what I'm trying to achieve. It's called learning on the job. But the lovely point is actually in the dark. I add a bit of green to that, so that I'm in fact mixing the colour on the paper. So that was a very grey green, and I'm trying to replicate what I can see here. Actually, this is towards the center of that. It's much lighter. Well, not all the way. Basically, it gets more and more light as you go near the bottom. There's definitely blue up there. Leave. Do what you see.
Ten minutes.
Good Lord. Heavens to Betsy. Right. I think I've used every green in the box on this leaf. No. Get that. Carry on with what we were doing. Dark. That might be better. There's this area here. I used to have the colour in it. You should notice. When you come down with this central spine, try not to make it too strong a line. It actually breaks in various places as the little, as it sort of branches off. Veins. Well done. Good job. And if you put them in, it just breaks the line and makes it a little less of a strong point. Well, as you can see, I'm not going to finish this in a hurry. It's Right. There's a sort of area of progress there. I did think I would get all the leaves done today and do the bobble next week, but it's not going to work out like that. So I'll just carry on working until we close, and then next week I will carry on. I might try to do some without anybody there, to advance the picture a bit. That's assuming my timetable will let me. And that will help when we come back to have something to work on.
Less than 4 minutes.
Right. Okay. Now, bearing in mind the experience of doing that, if I define the edges here a bit more, when I come to do this one, and that's a very light leaf, so if I can get quite good darks in the background here, when I come to put that leaf in, it will really spark out. So it's worth spending a bit of time here, neatening up the edges a bit and keeping the shape of the leaf as clear as possible. Not much more there. It starts quite thin on you. Also, at this stage, you begin to appraise what you've done and what you need to do to add to the picture, so that you get the effect that you're after. So this is really sharp, so I'm going to have to really bring in the darks here. Quite filling the tooth now to achieve the very strong dark that I'm after. And it also goes on up here as well. So because when I come to do that right at the end, I want something there that will really push the light forward.
You're about to be cut off.
Right, well, goodbye, folks. See you next week.
All right, then. I shall end the meeting before we get cut off in our prime, and we will see you all next week.